Hello everybody, welcome back to the table. Today we are going to take a look at the Amazon Basics Tactical Folding Knife. And so to see an Amazon Basics brand on a folding knife of all things was a little bit surprising to me, but I did decide to pick it up. And this here is kind of the budget of all budget knives, because the price of this particular knife to my door was about $11. And so over its history on Amazon, this knife has cost anywhere from between $6 to $15. And so at this price point, it's kind of competing, I would say, with the Walmart branded Ozark Trail knives, if you're familiar with those at all. So I want to kind of just see where this one stands in that category. But it was kind of interesting to see the Amazon Basics brand on a folding knife at all. Because the Amazon Basics brand, when I think of that name, I generally think of, USB chargers or maybe staplers, or if you're getting really fancy, a blender. But to see it on a tactical folder is kind of interesting. So what we have here, we have a tactical folding knife. It is a liner lock, and you can check out the lockup right there in the center. The lockup on this particular knife is super solid. There's no play up or down, so that's good to see, of course. We could check out the centering of the blade and the handles right in the center. So the centering is also very nice. And the blade itself, now of course Amazon being Amazon, they don't actually list what kind of blade steel this is made out of. So being a very inexpensive knife, I would guess that this is a 440 steel, 420 steel, something relatively low end that gets sharp and touches up easy. I do know that out of the box the blade was very sharp here on the flat edge. The serrated edge, however, there was a significant burr on the flat side, so I just hit that with a strop to knock that off, and now the serrations are nice and sharp as well. So I will testify, out of the box, it is shaving sharp. You can kind of see my arm is nice and bare on the front. But how well it holds that edge is going to be something that only time will tell. The actual blade, we can see it's a very Americanized Tanto tip. And it has a very decorative little opening hole right here. And again, it's not really for opening the knife. It's more for looks than anything, I would imagine, because we have these dual thumb studs to flick it open. And this knife is not assisted. There is no spring action in here. It is completely manual with the liner locking mechanism. So you can use the thumb stud to open it slowly. It's actually right out of the box very flickable with just your thumb stud action. So that's actually pretty impressive. So I do like that. The pocket clip on this knife, we can see it is a one position only pocket clip, so it's going to be carrying tip down, right hand side carry. It does carry somewhat high in the pocket, but no worse than many other knives that I own. But it does have the blacked out pocket clip. The overall design of the knife, though, it's going to be to your taste. Either you like it or you don't like it. We have wood handles on both sides, and those scales right here are bolted onto the steel frame. And the bolsters of the knife are stainless steel, and they are coated the same black color as the blade. And of course, the most standout part of the knife is the Amazon Basics logo. It's like a big billboard right on there. So in my opinion, it doesn't quite fit on a knife of all things, but it's kind of funny, and that's one of the reasons why I bought the knife, just for the novelty aspect that, hey, I have an Amazon knife of all things. So it was kind of interesting to see that this was even marketed at all. But that being said, it is very much a budget knife. Comparing this to some of the Ozark Trail knives from Walmart that I've handled in the past, I would say the fit and finish on this particular model is a bit nicer. It's also a little bit larger than most of the Ozark Trail knives I've handled in the past. The ones I've used before, I'm sorry I don't have any on table right now, but they were slightly smaller in blade length. So this particular knife here, from the tip of the bolster to the tip of the blade, is about 3 1/4 inches. And the overall length from the tip to the end is about 7 3/4 inches. And that puts it right in the medium size, what I call the medium size everyday carry category. And what I will compare it to is my standby knife. This is a Kershaw Blur. Very similar size. Of course, if you aren't aware, the Blur is an American-made knife made by Kershaw. But look at it side by side. They are very, very similar in overall size. The handles, the blades. I chose the Tanto Blur for this comparison so you can see the similarity in the blade shape as well. One difference between these two knives, though, is the weight. So this Amazon Basics knife being less expensive, being solid steel liners, they weren't thinking about weight savings. So overall, it's coming in over 5 ounces. So we can see 5.09 ounces for the Amazon Basics folder. Whereas a similar sized knife made with aluminum handles, like the Blur right here, does come in a little bit lighter, 3.94 ounces. So that's just going to be the difference between steel construction versus aluminum construction. You know, made in the USA versus, of course, made overseas in China. And there's also going to be, of course, a big price difference. If you're comparing just these two knives, we have $11 for the Amazon knife versus this particular style of Blur is going to run you probably $40, $50, $60. So there is that. But when you buy this knife, it does come with a little pouch. So I suppose you could carry it on your belt if you wanted to. This pouch is of very dubious quality. It's about as thin of a material as you could possibly get. There's a Velcro opening on there. I wouldn't actually put the knife in it because it's very much not designed for this knife. You can see it goes in, Velcro it shut, and it's just flopping all over the place in there. It's really not designed for this knife, but if you had anything else you wanted to carry on your belt, whether it's a flashlight or whatever you want to stick in there, I would consider it just a freebie that comes with it. I would not rely on this under any circumstances. So it's nice that they packed it in there, but it's really not necessary, especially considering that we do have a pocket clip on this knife. The box, of course, very basic. We just have, I said it, a pun, very basic, Amazon Basics, haha. Okay. Tactical folding pocket knife, wooden handle. They differentiate the wooden handle. I couldn't find any other tactical pocket knives with the Amazon Basics logo, so there is that. But a very simple knife, very much a working knife, something you're going to use and abuse, not think about it, not try to keep it pretty. And I am impressed out of the box with what I have here. But that being said, looking at my channel, looking at the videos I've made before, this doesn't really quite fit in the collection overall because it is so basic and inexpensive, but there's really nothing wrong with that. So very interesting purchase. Other than the slightly heavier weight, it kind of fits in with a lot of common folding knives of this type and of this style and of various knife brands, you know, your Kershaws, your Bokers, your Spydercos, so on and so on. So I just wanted to share this with everybody in case you were morbidly interested about what Amazon can make in a knife. And of course, Amazon just contracted this out to probably the cheapest bidder, but the overall product is not terrible. You know, and that's a nice thing to say. So any questions, feel free to drop them below. Or if you just have any comments to make about Amazon Basics and their foray into the tactical folding knife market, feel free to leave a comment below. Happy to hear from you. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye-bye.